I've been sitting in the sun enjoying myself here in Key West, Florida. I know how blessed I am to have this opportunity. And while I'm here, I've been enjoying the present but thinking about the future. I was talking to someone earlier this week who used the phrase, these trying times. In this week's This Old Marketing podcast, my co host Robert Rose said to do the best you can during these tumultuous times. Heck, even my wife sent me a tweet that said, it's very hard to maintain mental health because so many coping strategies are based on the idea that your anxiety is unwarranted. And right now needs more of an, okay, extremely warranted, but you still gotta water the plants, or you'll have fascism and dead plants. I thought that was funny. Anyways, I keep hearing these sorts of things over and over, and I think the best policy is for us to create as many options as possible in our life. And here's 4. The first is your audience option. This means that you have some sort of knowledge or expertise and a following on a platform where people trust you. Could be a newsletter or a podcast or YouTube or TikTok. Whatever the size, you either have and can grow influence and drive streams of revenue through that knowledge. This gives you a career and work flexibility option if you're ever forced to leave your job or it just goes away due to AI or those tumultuous times. This is also an advantage because you could be anywhere in the world and your influence goes with you. The second is a money option. I believe now is the best time to be diversified with the assets you own. I was talking to a friend of mine this week about Bitcoin, and his investment strategy is having all his investments in the US stock market, some cash left over for emergencies, and owns a house. That's actually pretty good. But if something happens to the US economy, good luck with that. I'd be looking at something like splitting your stock holdings into US, international, and emerging stocks. The dollar is great, but how about a little exposure into Bitcoin, which is a non-sovereign currency? Over the past 50 years, art has been the best investment. What about gold? Everyone is different, but keeping your money options open are critical. And I like Bitcoin because I can go anywhere in the world and still access it. The third is place option. If you have a second citizenship somewhere, you are at an advantage. If something were to ever happen in the US, you'd be in the best position. I know many people recently have been looking at their ancestry and finding ways into getting citizenship into another country. It's worth looking into just for the options, and I'm doing this now. Your last option is health. What's the use of any of this if you don't have the ability to live a long, healthy life? At least 4 days a week, you should be doing some activity, a workout, running, swimming, whatever. Try to eat non-processed foods whenever possible and limit alcohol and other chemicals that wreak havoc on your body. I'm sure you're thinking about all this like I am, but having as many options going forward as possible is critical for our survival. This is Joe Polizzi. I hope you enjoyed this not too much of a downer episode of Content Inc. If you have someone in your life who needs to hear this, please pass it on to them. I'll talk to you next Monday.